Right, we'll get into doing some coding. So you would have seen through here, I've asked for you to try and attempt to make this shape. That's what I'm going to do this tutorial around. And this link here, which goes to this woman here, she does a very, very good job of explaining the bits and how the bits work. I will attempt to try and do some of this, but here, watching through some of this here, it should hopefully help piece some of the missing bits in together. And also from which is in OneNote. I'll post this on the main page anyway. This website link here from CSS Tricks, which is a very good website, goes through and covers all the, what do I do for, I can't remember the terms, and it has all the terms here and has explanations and shows you how these work. And so you can kind of look through and pull through the bits here. So I'll post that now, I guess. Right. Okay, so let's get into the coding. Where am I? Grid video. Right, okay, so new file, index.html as per usual. New file, styles.css. If you want brackets, it's all default. You can install it free. I think it's both Windows and PC. Right. If it's not, there's plenty of them out there anyway. Okay, so oops. Helps if I'm working on the right one. Right, exclamation mark. Doc type HTML. That looks wrong. Whatever. I don't really care. I'm in a rush. Right, link relay equals style sheet shref styles. Okay, so that's cool. This is the bit that goes in tab. For those who have forgotten. Okay, so when making a website structure, if you have forgotten, you declare your document to be in HTML. You put a head tag to say this is basically your invisible content because this links to your styling document, which is this. And this one here, when we launch the web page, which I've just saved, you can see where that dot's gone. It goes in tab up there. But currently there's no content here. So this is all the pre-content, invisible content. Body is when you actually start seeing things. So what we want to do then essentially is we want to have elements in our website. So traditionally you would have a nav, right, and then you would have your references, and then you would have a section to hold your content, and you'd put things in them. There's no reason why you can't still do that with this CSS Grids layout. So if I was to go back to this layout we're attempting, right, there is no reason why you can't say, oh, my nav is going to be this space here. My section would be like this space here, and then my footer would be this space here. Obviously, the proportions of your box could probably be a little bit different rather than being all universally a square, but you get the gist. So, how are we going to pull this off? Currently, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes at various sizes and shapes. So, I'm just going to go div class box 1, put no content in it whatsoever. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Oh, my guesswork was pretty good. Right, 9. Okay, so we're going to get these boxes to then be these yellow boxes. Right, so let's hop into our style sheet and let's just go HTML, background color, light grey, and we'll just check if that's connected first, which I can see is a light grey there. Great. So, going to my code, I basically want to say the whole main website, this body, is the whole box, right? And those yellow bits are the items inside my grid. Okay, the whole box being the. I don't want to. Right. Right, so that's how you write comment, by the way, for those that didn't know. Right, and then I'm going to say this is going to be grid item. This is considered a child, right? So this is the overarching thing. These are the sub things that are inside it, hence why we tab things in. So that's considered a parent element, that's considered a child. When you tell this to be display of grid, these will instantly inherit grid-like behaviors because they'll want to fit inside the grid that we're going to define. And then they will just kind of follow suit. Right, so let's do this then. So I'm going to go body, display, grid. Now it's a grid. Let's see. Let's go, because we're going to get our classes now. Class box. I want to just get all child elements of body. I just have to look that up because I can't remember how to do that off the top of my head. HTML, oh sorry, CSS, all child elements. Select as reference. Hopefully this will have something in here for me. Class elements. D. Select all P elements with a div. Okay. So if I go div that and then right body, let's see if that works. Div. Oops. Background. Dash color. Gold. Nope. Okay. I will get there. I will get there. Ugh, I'll grab it later. Doesn't matter. Okay. So let's just go box 1. And I need to put this class. Right. So this should. What's happened here? Control Shift I. Elements. It's got no content in it. It hasn't got a width. So I potentially could have worked. Width. There you go. Oh, yep, so it's working. Okay. I just want to try that other one. Is it div? No. I feel like I want to write it this way though. Yep, so I got them all. So you can see there currently, it's got it like, see this dotted box? This is it trying to define its grid. Right, right, so if I go for state on focus, I just go focus. That's what I do. Right, so you can see here, it's got everything highlighted. It's actually in here showing the grid already. So what I want to do now is I want to actually define how many rows. So I want to define, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 across and 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So we've got rows are across, columns are going down. Think columns, you like your support columns, right? So we define that. We usually say grid dash column grid count. Oh my goodness, I will have to look it up. Obviously a little bit rusty. I'll look at one that I've done before. Our grid template. There we go. So grid template columns. So this is we're saying how many across. And you can write this several ways. I can write 10 pixels, 10 pixels, 10 pixels, 10 pixels, 10 pixels, and this will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. You can also write it repeat 5 times, and what we're repeating 5 times, I'm going to say 150 pixels as a fixed measure. Right, grid template rows, repeat 4, 150 pixels as well. Shouldn't need to do that anymore. These will want to kind of default fill this. So we can see now here we've got a grid. The interesting thing is you can see our grid actually does stop right. I wish you can say focus. Yeah, so why does it do that? It's so frustrating. Right. So you can see in here there's a okay, it's on a timer. Whatever. I haven't done anything. The gap stopped there because the 150 pixels has stopped. We've also got our gap around here because our body, as you can see in here, we've got margin 8 pixels. So I can go around here and then say in here, just a little industry trick. This asterisk means all tags, margin 0 pixels. Right, so we want to actually see these lines up here. So if I can go there, does it show? Body. I'm trying to go, see the grid. There is one in HTML. I'm sure it used to show the grid. No? Okay. I'm going to take this. Oh, we'll use this. And go in Firefox. Oh yeah, it does it great. Okay, so Firefox. And it does grid overlay. You can click it here. It'll actually show you. So now you can see this is your lines 1, line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is your grid here, and you can actually see as you highlight through. I don't know if you can highlight multiple ones. So there you go. You can actually see your grid in there. So Firefox is really, really good. I don't know if it does it in standard Firefox. Let's just see. There has been updates to Firefox since. So oh yeah, so it's got it in here as well. So your Firefox for grids actually tends to be really good. This Night Firefox one is a developer's one, so you tend to get the features quicker. But yeah. Okay, so back to the code. We actually want to have a space in there. So it's called grid gap. So if I go grid dash gap, I can set it to be a percentage, I think. There you go. It's 2% of the width of the screen. I could set it to be a pixel-based thing, if I actually spell pixels correctly. You can also, in here, rather than saying I want it 150 pixels, I can say, oh, I could try and work out what the percentage is. So this is 5 perfectly fitting across. Or they've invented fractions. So essentially it fits perfectly, as in it'll divide it by 5 and it'll divide this by 4. Oh, because I should have been 4. So if I refresh. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can say 1 fraction. Because there was no height defined with it, it doesn't want to do that. So because the reason why height's always an issue is because there's infinite scroll up and down. So this one here, let's see, even auto won't work because there's no content. Yeah. So this would need to be 150 pixels. Generally speaking, if I would put this as something like auto, because you would just let the content fill down, and so there's no reason why your downwards content couldn't be much longer, and then you would just scroll down the page kind of thing. But we're going to leave it like that for argument's sake. Right, okay. So we've got this. It's just laid it out 1, 2, 3, 4. Blah, 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 it's gone. So how do we get our boxes now to pull off this layout? So the first one's done. Great. The second one, I want to get it to start 2 across. So I basically want to go from line 3 to line 4 and start on line 1 to line 2, going up and down. So it's really quite easy. Get rid of that. We say, sorry, there was a really annoying noise. Dot box 2, because we just want to focus on that, and we want to say grid dash column. So that's the columns are up and down ones. We want to say line 1, line row, so line 3 to line 4. So we're going to say 3 to line 4. That's it. If I want to define the vertical, I can as well. Grid dash dash row 1/2. You don't have to have the space, but my OCD wants the space. Right, so I can do this. You probably won't notice a change because one of the other ones, if I refresh it, will just slot in there. So box 1, box 2 is in that spot there. See, that was box 2 we just defined is actually in the 3rd space, but box 3 is now backfilled, this one. So we need to tell box 3 to go away over there, which is 5 to 6. Just take this. Box 3 is then 5 to 6. Refresh. So box 1's there, box 2's there, box 3's there. We're getting somewhere. Box 4 is going to be there. So, okay. Box 4 is going to be grid column 1 to 2, but it's actually going to be 2 to 3 because we're down another row. Okay, and refresh. 1's there, 2's there, 3's there, 4 is there. 5 is now a longer one, which is actually not really any different at all. So 5 is grid column 2 because it's up against this one. 2 to 4 now, and it is the same height, so it's 2 to 3. And I'm just going to set background color red or something just to make it stand out. There you go. So it is sat there. Then obviously this one here, look, you can fill the rest in. It's pretty obvious. In the videos, if you watched her, she explains through the various things you can and can't do. One of them is you cannot make an L shape with one block. So you will end up with a square, and then you would have to put something over to cover it, kind of thing. But you can't actually have a block. But if you had a block that you were trying to cover and then put text in it in that L shape, it would just go there and then be half hidden by that block. So those are things that currently is outside of Grids thing. Okay, so we're doing that one now. So dot. Now this might seem a real frustrating or kind of like really long hand doing lots and lots of these things, but this is when you're trying to really define things sitting in a really specific way, where when we first got it, which is what this one's still kind of wanting to do, it's wanting to go and just do left to right, really not doing much of anything. So it was just defaulting, filling everything in. So depending what you're doing, generally speaking, you don't always need to be really specific with things. Okay, so I've got 1 to 2, and my height is obviously going to be down below this, so I'm going to be starting on 3 because it's up against that line. 4. And then this one's going to be my next one that's going to do this here. Now, I don't have to do it in order. I've just kind of done it in order from top to bottom, filling these in. My box one could have been there, but for my brain, having to code and go back to content, no. Alright, so then, so that must be, no, grid 6. Column, yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. Lost track which I was up to. So that is going to be column 1, 2, 3. Which already is 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3, 4, 5. So 3 to 5. And oops, I'll just give this one a background color, orange. So you can see it here. So yeah, if by all means use grid show. Does it when I go into Mozilla? Like, then you got this display line numbers, display. So you can assign area names as well. That's the other way of doing it, but can you dock to the right? That's so much better. Right. So yeah, you can use these tick boxes, and it makes it just far easier to see what you're dealing with. So this, there, and there are the ones we haven't defined, so they need to go there, there, I believe. Yeah. Oh no, there and there. Okay, yeah. Okay. So 8 is there. So that is 5 to 6. 5 to 6, and then this is 3 to 4. 3 to 4. And the last one then, grid box 9 is the last grid box. Column 1 to 2, and it is now grid 4 to 5, yeah. Yeah, so, yep, there it is all set nicely. I can untick that now. See, that looks, really, really pretty as our website. But you can see because it's a fraction, it has stretch content. So if I had gone in here and said 150 pixels, it would sit like that. I could then say to the body, margin auto. Right, doesn't want to sit in the middle. HTML. Look, text align center the whole thing. I'm just trying to center the whole thing, but that's not a biggie. But the idea is that essentially what we could do is with your grid, you can actually say, I want the grid to have automatic spaces for this, so it would effectively have 7, and rather than going repeat 7, you'd have 7 things, and you would have, auto, the first one and the last one, and you'd manually write out 150 for the middle 5. So if we do that, repeat 7, see what it does to our layout. And even though if I go like this, shrink that right up as much as I can. Because even though we've defined these two, we never specified anything to go in there. So it would completely not do that. Now the interesting thing is, it'll have to figure something out if I decided to shorten the rows to be 1 less than what we used. So if I said 4, for example, so saved here and then I refreshed it. So you can see it's just kind of mucked in and just did some whatever it can kind of think to do is the right amount, because we're defining things outside of its there. So yeah, it's always quite interesting to see what Grids decides to do as a default. But you can see 2, 3, it still has 5. Why does it still have 5? Because we defined that there was going to be further along stuff, and so it's still using it anyway. So Grids has got a certain amount of forgive in it, but there you go. That's a nice introduction to Grids, but there is definitely a lot of other quirks and getting sizes, like we said, for the vertical sizes and all that stuff going as well.